Well, the Formula One team from Sky Sports are in town ahead of the opening event, of course, but our very own Jessica Yates is among them. Jess, a great morning to you, and we cannot wait to see the action this weekend.
Indeed we can't. Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to be able to welcome you here to Albert Park trackside as we officially launch the 2020 Formula One season, all coming to you live on Fox Sports on Foxtel. And it is a wonderful treat to have with us here this morning our F1 expert commentary team from Sky Sports. Welcome to you, Martin Brundle, Johnny Herbert, to you, David Croft and Simon Lazenby. They bring us all of the action right throughout the season. And just to give you a little bit of background on our expert commentary team that'll be here with us at the Australian Grand Prix this weekend. For Martin Brundle, 158 Grand Prix starts from 1984 to 1996, including the very first Melbourne Grand Prix. Martin scored 9 podiums in his F1 career, and since retiring has become synonymous in living rooms right around the world as the voice of Formula One and the leader of Sky Sports' world-class Formula One coverage. For Johnny Herbert, 161 Grand Prix starts, scoring 3 F1 wins in his career from 1989 to 2000. It was an esteemed driving career also with a Le Mans 24-hour win in there as well. For David Croft, he is the man behind the microphone at every single F1 round. It's fantastic to have you here, Crofty, and I know that you're going to be jumping into the commentary box for Supercars this weekend. We can't wait to have a cameo appearance for you in that one. And, of course, Simon Lazenby, who is the host of the F1 Sky Sports team. He really breaks down all the big stories, brings us the big interviews from all the big names in the paddock through the season. So we're thrilled to have you here this morning. We're really looking forward to a massive year of Formula One on Fox Sports, on Foxtel, of course, as I said, every single session live and ad break 3 right throughout the season. We have an incredible weekend of motorsport coming your way on Fox Sports. In fact, it's probably the biggest week in Australian motorsport. So we've renamed it. It is now the Festival of Fast on Fox Sports this weekend. So Formula One, Supercars and IndyCar, bringing you, our viewers at home, over 33 hours of live motorsport action. Wow. It probably doesn't get much better than that. And for those that haven't binged it yet, there's still time to get in the brand new season of Drive to Survive from Netflix. Season 2 is fantastic. I've watched every single episode, so you've still got 24 hours to fit it in before the F1 cars hit the track here at Albert Park. And of course, that is available to all the new Foxtel user experience owners. So make sure you get that one in. Now, I know everyone wants to hear from you, so I'm going to hand it over to you, Simon. But again, wonderful to have you guys here with us.
Thank you very much, Jess. Appreciate it. You mentioned there, of course, yeah, you ruined that Grand Prix, didn't you? The first Australian Grand Prix.
The first one, yes, I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
I
Yes,
crashed on the... I did, completely. Well, it was
did,
your fault.
It wasn't my fault. You drove over me.
You and Coulthard got together. You ran our talent down in turn 3.
You drove into the back of me.
You took my space, and I had to fly through the air to avoid
25 years on, it still hurts. Remember that.
But yeah, so red flag. Well, the fans got to see 2 starts, so I actually enhanced the experience for them.
I've never seen you run so fast as going from turn 3 back to the pits.
Hero, you're a hero. You were a hero then. I remember it well. I mean, I think with Fernando Alonso, he had a similar sort of crash, didn't he, going into that? I mean, and he said it was tarmac, air, tarmac, air, tarmac, air. Is that how you remember it?
I could take you through it frame by frame 25 years later. I won't, because it's a long time. It'll take me a long time. But it's you when you crash a racing car and you're a pro driver behind the wheel, everything goes into slow motion. And I can remember going through the air, and all I thought was, please, not the trees. Don't put me in the trees. And then luckily I landed upside down, but on the tarmac, so my rollover bar didn't go into the gravel. And so I started the race 19th because I blew up in qualifying, and I was P6 when I got to turn 3, but I was upside down. So, and then it all kicked off, and the only bit that scared me was I could feel this fluid running down my neck when I was upside down, and I could smell fuel because we were, full of fuel at the start of the race. And I thought I was getting covered in fuel. I wasn't. It was my drinks bottle. Was the liquid, and just the smell of fuel because I'd broken the car like an egg.
Wasn't like Johnny, because that's a different kind of fluid, wasn't it?
It's a different kind of fluid, yes. We won't go
We'll talk about that.
No.
Right, let's look forward to 2020.
Yeah.
David, you're going to be behind them. Yeah, the man behind the microphone again, or in front of the microphone, on top of the microphone, whatever you want to call it.
With the microphone.
With the microphone. What do we think for this year? Is Lewis going to match Michael Schumacher?
It's all about history equaling for Lewis Hamilton. And did we ever think that we'd see anyone get close to Michael Schumacher's record? Probably not. But then Lewis Hamilton came along, and since 2014, his stock has risen and risen. Best driver on the grid, best team on the grid. Why should he not become world champion at the end of it? That's not to say there are some great challenges as the V8s take to the track. And on behalf of Australian motor racing fans, proper noise on the track, ladies and gentlemen. But, there are challenges coming his way, but year after year after year, he keeps them at bay. And I think Martin and I will be talking about a 7th world title for Lewis Hamilton. I can't see it not happening.
Johnny?
Yeah, I this is the best I think we're going to see from Lewis Hamilton. The good thing about this season is we've got the youngsters, Max Verstappen, and again Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari as well. If they can really get into the mix, I think Lewis 1 is up for that. And for us as race fans, it's going to be absolutely awesome if they can all fight together for this championship. But like David, I have to go for Lewis because I think he's at the top of his game.
Personally, Ferrari at the moment, I mean, we're talking about sandbagging at testing. This year they've kind of gone for a different approach, haven't they?
Yeah.
Last year it was all out gung-ho, wasn't it? Straight out of the blocks. But this time we don't really know what to expect from Ferrari. Personally, I think that it's going to be Red Bull that take the fight to Mercedes. I would love to see wheel-to-wheel Max Verstappen versus Lewis Hamilton week in, week out, because they're the two best drivers on the grid, aren't they?
We've got some great drivers on the grid, but certainly they are two that, and I put Leclerc in there as well, but two of the drivers that you've got to beat if you want to win the championship. We won't know until Saturday afternoon here in Melbourne when they take the fuel out, turn the power up to maximum, give it full attack mode as to who's got the pace. Then, of course, it's about race pace. Don't underestimate Valtteri Bottas and the other Mercedes. He won here last year, of course, and I think he's in a really good place. He's got a new lady in his life.
Okay.
I do not underestimate Valtteri Bottas, or anybody for that matter. Ferrari have had their wings clipped because they were pushing the limits, pushing the boundaries last year on the fuel. So I'm not too sure where they stand.
Okay. Really? Do you think Valtteri Bottas can take the flight to Lewis?
Well, he won here last year.
I'm not saying he can't, but I'm saying over the course of a season.
4 races. Lewis brings his A game every weekend, doesn't he? And that's why he's the king of Formula One at the moment.
Yeah.
Am I saying Bottas is going to beat Hamilton for the championship? Probably not, but don't write him off. Don't write anybody off in terms of the top 3 teams.
Yeah. Well, again, we talk up Lewis, don't we? But he's only won here twice. And it's been, for 2015 was the last time he won. 2016, 17, 18, 19, he was second. So this is a track that hasn't been brilliant for him, and that's where Valtteri can obviously step it up.
But Johnny, you were with the Red Bull boys yesterday.
Yeah.
How are they feeling?
Seem to be okay. Again, typical Max, you ask him questions, doesn't really answer it, really doesn't give an inkling of an idea to anybody of where they're at. But I think, like you said, the Red Bull looks very good on track when we saw it at the testing, and I really hope that pace is there, that they can take it to Mercedes, because we want that wheel-to-wheel battle between Max and Lewis, because if that happens, it's going to be pretty mighty around here, Albert Park.
Without being too controversial,